Good afternoon, everybody. Hope everyone's having a decent day, considering what's going on in the world today. I wanted to come on here and say a few things on how I feel about a certain issue that's very controversial. I'm not here to start any war with anybody. I'm not here to downgrade anybody. Just some information that I think is very valuable and useful. When I woke up from the organization back in 2018, I had to look. One of the things that I did was I looked at what the other side was saying about the Watchtower organization. And once I looked at the other side, I was like, oh, okay, well, that's why they say this about Jehovah's Witnesses. And then it started to open my eyes to the truth about that organization. So it's very important to look at both sides of an issue. Totally. Growing up in the organization, I was around a lot of different types of folks, and I never saw color. Growing up in the military, I moved all over the place, so I met so many different folks and met so many nice people. And for me, yeah, I don't see color. I think the only time I ever did was when I first started selling insurance, and my first 10 sales were all to black families. I went back to my district manager and I said, I don't know how to sell white people. So I just thought that was kind of funny. A lot of stuff is happening in the world, especially with these protests/riots that are going on. And the thing is after talking with a friend of mine, Avery White, and a few other of my black friends, one thing that people need to understand, white people need to understand, is they have been feeling oppressed for many years. And they feel like that no matter what is done in the government, that they can't ever get ahead. They can't ever be treated fairly or equally. They go out of their house, they see a cop, and the first thing, they get scared. And that's sad. They should not ever have to feel that way. It's horrible that in some areas of this country, people are taught from the time that they're young that a certain race is one that's demeaning. They are not people. And these folks are brought up that way. And they look at, well, I'll just say here in the South, I meet a lot of white people that, I'm sorry, are freaking racist. And that shows immaturity on their part. That shows lack of compassion on their part. So I'm here to say that if you are a white person and you are racist, you're horrible. Because we're all human. We all bleed the same color. Just because our skin is different doesn't make somebody less of a human being. It doesn't make you more of a person just because you're white. And that just pisses me off. And I think the thing is a lot of people don't understand the battle that the black community has had for so many years. I don't like to see people being suppressed. I don't like seeing people being held in limbo. I want to see people succeed. I don't care who you are, black, white, Asian, purple, whatever. I want to see everybody succeed. I want to see everybody get along. But I think what I want to say here is be careful with what the media is doing right now. Because what happened in Minneapolis with that cop and Mr. Floyd was disgusting. That cop, in my opinion, should face a death penalty. And the thing is anybody that saw that video was horrified about it. There was a consensus that yes, this was awful and it shouldn't happen. And that this guy and the other 3 officers should be held accountable for their actions. So when the black community wants to go out and protest against police brutality, they should be able to do that. And a lot of these protests have started out with folks that genuinely felt that they needed to have their message heard. And there's no problem with that. The Constitution supports that. They have a right to assemble. Here's the problem, though. There are folks and organizations out there, George Soros and his funded Antifa, who are mostly white, and other organizations that he funds that are promoting hate. They don't want to see us unite. They want to see us divided. And the biggest issue, the biggest hot button topic issue to cause division is black versus white. They know that if we came together as a people, that their jig is up. So what do? They take advantage of these protests. They implant people into these protests to start doing the rioting, to start doing the looting. It's not, as a lot of people would see the news and they say, oh, look at all those black people doing that. No, that is not the case. There's white people looting. I saw them. I watched the news for 6 hours last night. I saw all types of races looting. And the guy that started the thing in Minneapolis, the white cop who was going through breaking windows, he's the one that started all this shit. So for my black friends out there, I want your message to be heard. I hear you. I would be on the front lines with you protesting to have your voice heard. But what everyone needs to understand is there are organizations out there that want to infiltrate these peaceful protests to make it look bad on a certain race. I tell you what, when the anti-lockdown protesters were doing their stuff a couple of weeks ago, I was worried that there would be some right-wing lunatics infiltrating those protests and start doing things that would make those white people look bad. They do it on both sides. So there's probably going to be more protests tonight. And I pray to God that they're peaceful. But these folks don't want peace. They want division. They don't want to see us succeed as a nation. They don't want to see unity. And I'll do another video to go in to explain why this happens. But I think you guys get the point. Anybody that's racist, if you're a white racist, if you're a black racist, stop. We're all human. And just understand that everyone has a story to tell. Some stories are a little longer than others, but there's validity to that. And instead of reacting to what you see on the media, take a step back. Find out what the bigger picture is. And if you're the type of person that's going on Facebook and putting out memes that continually are promoting one race against another, stop. Just stop. It doesn't help. Because then people start commenting and then everybody gets all pissed off at each other. I don't understand why people can't come together. That's all I've ever wanted to see. But we are up against a bigger battle. And there's people that want to cause division. There's people that want to cause disunity in us. Because they know that we are stronger together.